allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If we could remain standing, we always have a moment of silence, usually for various groups that help our society. If we could have a moment of silence for this country and for our democracy, and hope that this election is woken some people up and that Democrats are going to come out fighting in upcoming elections. Thank you. I believe Gretchen has passed around the meeting minutes. If you hadn't had a chance to take a look at them, what goes over. Does everybody have a copy? Does anybody need a copy? Do we have a motion to approve November's meeting minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion, Irma. Do we have a second?
Second.
Dennis seconds it. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the minutes are passed. Thank you. Financial report, Jim, so treasurer, Jim.
Just real quick, we started the month with $955.81, and we ended with $559.75.
Thank you, Jim. And if you want to renew your membership for the upcoming year, I believe.
There are membership forms on the front table if you want to pay for 2016 or you want to pay for 2017.
So again, individual $25, family $40, student, senior, or military is $15. And so you can get that. Our new membership person is Teresa. She's going to be taking over. Glenn has done a great job. He's passing the gavel over to Teresa so she can help you with membership. Do we have any other officers' reports?
We had an election. And I want to commend all the candidates who ran locally as well as at the state and national level. We did have some bright spots. Dexter Sharper got re-elected at the local level. Joyce Evans was re-elected at the local level. Marcus Marshall. Where's Marcus?
He went to ballet.
Okay. It's not up for re-election. He's continuing. Did I miss anybody? Ashley Bonk elected as sheriff. So we kept that in Democratic hands. Chris Pine switched parties and did him in. Again, I want to thank everybody who volunteered. We had a good cohort of volunteers, people to drive folks to the polls, people to make phone calls, people to in the precincts. We had coverage, election poll watchers in every precinct. We had people to witness the opening of absentee and early ballots, as well as the military and provisional ballots. So thank you to everybody who was a volunteer. We really had a good effort and a good turnout this time, and that makes a real difference. So my sincere thanks to all of the volunteers. Thank you.
We do also have the Martin Luther King Jr. commemoration banquet coming up. I went ahead and purchased tickets. We always get a table at this event. We always have a presence there. The tickets, we have a table with 10 seats available. So if you would like to go and sit at the Lowndes County Democratic Party table and support this, the tickets are $30 a piece. So if anybody would like, is there anybody who thinks that they might want to go? The food is amazing. So we already got a couple that are interested in going. So if you're interested as well, okay, fantastic. Get the tickets from me. But we always like to have a showing. So
What's the date?
the date is Saturday, January 7th at 6 p.m. It's at the Rainwater Conference Center. And they put up great decorations, and they have some great speakers, and again, the food is fantastic. So just let me know if you're interested in a ticket. Next, I just want to say, thank you to all the officers over the past couple of years. If you wouldn't mind, maybe even Dennis stood up. Glenn, could you, this is Glenn. He's been in charge of membership. Thank you, Glenn. Jim has been the treasurer for quite a few years now. So thank you, Jim, for... Jim has agreed to stay on. He will continue to be treasurer, as Dennis will stay on as well. Who else am I missing? Gretchen. Round of applause for Gretchen as secretary. So it's been a great 2 years as chair. I think we've accomplished a lot. Some of the things I'm probably most proud of are that we're in the newspaper and on television quite a bit. So for doing things such as supporting local business, we're in the paper quite a bit for doing positive things in the community and just getting a positive, enhancing the image of Democrats here in South Georgia. We all know that it's not easy being a Democrat in South Georgia. It takes a lot of courage and a lot of patience, but I think we're very strong people. And so I'm very proud of all the things that we've accomplished. Our email list is way up. We've got, since the time I've taken over, I've gotten especially a lot of VSU students. Since I work at VSU, I'm able to get a lot of students interested in the Democratic Party. So our email list is, I think it's getting close to I think it's about 800 now. Our Facebook presence is very strong too. I think we're up to about, do we have about 500 likes? 500, 600, but we've seen a drastic increase in the number of people that like our Facebook page and get our communications. So I think we've done a great job. G.B. Rice has now been elected. He's going to be the new chair for the next 2 years. And in a little bit, he's going to tell you some of the plans that he has to kind of help build on our local Democratic Party and help get Democrats elected to office. So he'll tell us a little bit about that. The election results here, I know I didn't print out enough of them. Does everybody have one floating around? I just thought we'd briefly go over some of these election results. Right now, last I've heard, for the presidential races at 2.5 million votes. Hillary Clinton is up by 2.5 million votes in the popular vote, last I heard. And we have Donald Trump, and of course won the Electoral College. Hillary Clinton got nationally 48.2% of the votes. Trump's got 46.3% of the votes. Here I broke it down in terms of the state of Georgia, where Donald Trump got 51% and Hillary Clinton got 45%. G.B.R. got 41% against Johnny Isaacson, who got 55%. Here in Lowndes County, I broke it down even more. Down Lowndes County, Donald Trump got 57%, Hillary Clinton got 40%. Some of the other key races that we were focusing on, James Harris got 32% of the vote against Austin Scott. Gregory Williams ran a great campaign. If you don't know Gregory Williams, he's got a ton of energy. He's got a bright future. He's going to get elected to something at some point. But he ran a very good race. A round of applause for Teresa Moffitt, who ran. And first time running for office. I believe Gretchen recruited you, and
she recruited herself.
She recruited herself. Well, John recruited me a while back. The Quartermans do that sometimes.
Yeah, 45 minutes notice.
But thank you, Teresa, for running. What we hate is unopposed races, right? We hate races where there's a Republican and nobody running against them. We don't want to just give up. We want to find somebody who's qualified, who has a chance of winning. And Teresa just ran a really great campaign.
I'll be back in 4 years.
You'll be back. One thing I'd really like to give a shout out to Teresa for, is we actually had a Lowndes County Democratic Party presence at the Hira Honeybee Festival, and I don't believe we had done that before.
Not in a long time.
Not in a long time, and a lot of people came up and just were appreciative of the fact that we had a presence there. And so,
It was a great turnout. I really enjoyed that.
absolutely, those are kind of outreach things that really make an impact. Just letting people know that we are good people, we're in your community, we're trying to help, and that was a great idea. And Teresa, you were there all 2
Always
days?
get down.
All-
Saturday and Sunday.
Saturday and Sunday, all
Oh,
days.
Friday too.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Thanks for doing that.
I just showed how we're not being a liberal.
Yeah, we got some dirty looks, but
Yeah, I got a few.
we're changing that. We're changing. As Dennis said, Ashley Paul did win by a pretty significant margin. It's a victory for Democrats. Felicia Williams did not win her race. She got 46% of the vote. Ran a very strong race. She was at the Hira Festival as well. So you see sometimes these folks run unopposed. Bill Slaughter, County Commission Chairman, ran unopposed. We hate when that happens. So if you ever thought about running for office, or maybe you haven't thought about it, we would love to talk with you about it. It's an enjoyable experience. You really learned a lot about the community. Would you agree?
It was, I wouldn't change a thing, except for a lot of stuff. But it was, I learned a lot. It was a very, I learned how to speak in front of people, which is something I have never really done before. And it kind of came naturally. And I think you find those hidden talents in yourself when you get up there and just put yourself out there. And it doesn't hurt. Your feelings hurt at the end of the day, but I got over it. I know I'll be back in 4 years, and in 2 years we have Scotty Ornstein and Weisenberg. What's his name?
Mark Weisenbaker.
Weisenbaker. We got those two coming up in 2 years, and we need some people running those districts. Democrats on that council, besides Joyce Turner and Marcus.
So if running for office isn't your thing, but maybe you know somebody who you think would be a really strong candidate, please let us know. Because we're always trying to reach out and find people that maybe never thought about running before.
2 years?
Yeah.
But you have to do city, right?
I don't know what.
You live in the city, though, right?
Everybody lives in the county. No matter where you live in Lowndes County.
Yeah, but Scotty's the Hira, and I
The
don't know
north
where
part
Mark
of the city.
is.
The north part of the city.
North is the south, Bert, the north is the middle.
So it could be county commission, it could be city council. There's also various appointments that come up, right? The city has openings in various committees, and we just don't get enough Democrats on these committees. So anything you can do to help would be appreciated.
And getting appointed to those boards and commissions is really important because that's where a lot of the decisions get made. And you're not running for office. It's not expensive to do. Just download the form from the city website. There's an ethics form that you have to fill out, and just put your name forth. There are at least 11 different boards and commissions that have vacancies.
There are 22 boards and authorities to which you might consider being appointed. The city appoints quarterly, and the county appoints whatever it is that they do.
But go on the city website. I'm not sure. The city website is better at this than the county website. But look at those boards and commissions. This is a good way to get involved. This is a good way to have an impact. You can find a board or commission that's of interest to you, historical preservation, housing, whatever, transportation. Look at those boards and commissions. This is an excellent way to get involved in the political structure of the city and the county.
The county does now finally at least have a list of most of the boards, although they don't tell you when there's an opening. You kind of have to infer that. One thing that's little known about the city appointments, you don't have to live in the city, you only have to live in the county. So you could get appointed to any of these boards from either the city or the county, except a few that are just Valdosta only and what the cover.
Well, I do serve on the airport authority, and one of the things that is real good about that is a lot of these authorities do have a lot of Republican members on them. You can actually almost do background research, we call it spying, we call it background research, because they make the natural assumption that you are a Republican. It's not something where you have to say I'm a Democrat or I'm a Republican or they make that assumption, and they let you know how they think. And they also let you know that what they think is important is the same thing that you think is important. Just the way to solve it may be a little bit different.
And the planning commission is a traditional route to getting on the county commission.
So if you have any interest in possibly serving on boards, you can go on the website or talk with me or John or Gretchen or Dennis, and we can help you with that. As Dennis mentioned, Dexter Sharper, that was a big win for Dexter. We're really happy about that. Another thing we're very happy about is that the state school takeover bid failed. Governor Steele's plan. So Democrats around the state are very pleased with that. Unfortunately, one thing we were pushing for, number 3, the Judicial Qualifications Committee, that a lot of people are confused by the wording. I don't know if some of you heard the same thing. They use a lot of flowery language, make it sound like it's a good thing, and a lot of people were really confused. And once they learned what it was, it was too late. They already voted the other way. So, other than that, future plans for Lowndes County Democratic Party. I mean, we know there's a lot of work to do on a variety of fronts. One of the best things we can do is get involved locally. A lot of us have particular social issues that we care deeply about, so we can get involved in organizations that way. But we really ask everybody to think of the Lowndes County Democratic Party as kind of your home. No matter what you're working on, if it aligns with our values, we're here to help you, no matter what that is. So you can just reach out to committee members, come to the meetings, and we're gonna find a way to help you with the issues that you care about. One thing I've tried to do is destigmatize being a Democrat in South Georgia, normalize it, and I think we can continue to grow in that way. And JD, I mean, some of the things that we've been doing in the past, some of the ways we run meetings, talking about local issues that have been successful. I know that's something you're kind of interested in, but did you want to talk a little bit about some of the things that you see us doing over the next couple of years to strengthen the party?
I'd love to. First, I'm going to say good evening to everybody. And thank you for the opportunity to serve in this capacity. I'm excited. To me, it's a good time to be a Democrat. We got a lot to be proud of. I went to a meeting here a while back, and it was at the Chamber of Commerce. Vivian was there, and they had a strategist that was hired by Governor Deal, and he was also hired by Purdue to turn their campaigns around when they were running for elections last time. And they were losing. Deal was losing to Carter, and Purdue was losing to Nunn. And this strategist turned their campaigns around, but he warned the Republican Party that Deal may be the last Republican governor Georgia has because of demographics. And that gave me a lot of encouragement. When I looked at the results of this last election, we lost some statewide offices, we lost some local offices that we probably should have won. And to me, the reason we didn't do as good as we could have done is that we got to do a better job of engaging people to get out and vote. That's critical. I'll tell you a little bit about myself for those of you who don't know me. I moved to Valdosta in 1992. I served 22 years with the Valdosta Fire Department, and a total of 35 years total with my time in Waycross in Valdosta. But the last 18.5 years I served as the fire chief in Valdosta Fire Department. Since then I ran for mayor. I lost to John Gill, the sitting mayor, by less than 400 votes. First time, just like Teresa, first time I ever ran for office in my life. I'm currently a high school teacher at Valdosta High School. So I believe in getting engaged with people. I see a lot of opportunities for us as Democrats. One of the things that I like for us to do is to include more people that make up our demographics. If you look at the trend of not only our nation, our state, our county, we're getting a larger Hispanic population. And we're getting a larger Asian population. And I think with a coalition of minorities and people from the gay and lesbian community that feel that nobody cares about their issues, we have got to be more inclusive. One thing I got to say about us Democrats, we have got to stop wearing our feelings on our shoulders. I don't have to like everything you do, but as a Democrat, I got to support you because we all want the same rights, regardless. And I believe in civil rights, and I believe that all of us want the same constitutional rights that we fought for as veterans. Norman's a veteran, I'm sure. I'm not the only one. Jeremiah is a veteran, and several of you may also be veterans as well. And when we took that oath that we would defend the Constitution of these United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that means something. That's why I ask all my kids to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. That means something. As a Democrat, we got a lot to be proud of, folks. A lot to be proud of. This country was built on the back of Democrats. You look at the Great Depression that happened under Hoover. It was the Democrats that pulled us out of it. You look at the Great Recessions that we had off of Reagan and Bush. It was the Democrat that pulled us out of it. Look at the greater recession we had under Bush too. It was a Democrat that pulled us out of it. We got a lot to be proud of. We have nothing to be ashamed of. And Lowndes County can be a beacon for this state of what we can do as Democrats. I look forward to serving these next 2 years. And I promise you, I'll do all I can to engage as many people as I can to be proud to wear that D on their chest. We have nothing to be ashamed of. I'm excited. I thank you for the opportunity, and God bless us, and God bless our country. Thank you.
We do have shirts for sale. Tom has bumper stickers.
You have bumper stickers, yeah. If you want a Lowndes County Democratic Party bumper sticker to show your pride, let me know. I can get that to you. Thanks, JD. I'm excited to see what you're going to do over the next couple of years. I would like to open it up to members wishing to be heard. I know this has been a rough month for everybody in this room, but hopefully this is going to wake Democrats up. The people who didn't vote, who are now regretting that decision, the people who maybe voted third party because they didn't want to vote for Hillary Clinton, I know many of them are regretting their decision. The people who haven't been getting involved, they're regretting not getting involved. So already I know, Gretchen, you're hearing the same things I am. People are emailing, people are calling, what can I do?
Well, and so as a member of the organization, I have something that I want to say. I want us as an organization to focus on what we are for, what things we're working towards, rather than what things we're working against. And we don't need to be saying the name of DT any more than we have to. What we need to say are that we're for a high quality, free public education for every student in every classroom. That we're for that healthcare access is a right, not a privilege. That we need to take care of the environment the same way as it was left to us. We need to leave it that way or better. And that every single person, black, white, yellow, green, gay, straight, old, standing on their head, deserves the same treatment under the law. If we can focus on those things and talk about what we're for, I think that we'll have more people line up behind us than if we are naysayers about the things that we don't like.
To piggyback on that, there's a lot of misinformation out there, right, about what the Democratic Party stands for. There's a lot of fake news sites. So it's our job to make sure that people are really informed about what we are about. There's key platform issues Gretchen mentioned: affordable health care, high quality education, equal rights under the law, making sure that our planet isn't so polluted for the next generations. All these issues. So let's let our neighbors know, our church members know, and that's how we're going to continue to build. So I would like to open it up to hear what some of you have to say. Yeah.
You should remember also that the pendulum swings from left to right. and that the Obama legacy brought us further down the road of equality than any other period in American history. And so we should be proud of what's gone on for the last 8 years. And we should also remember that part of the reason for the low turnout that we in fact had was too much complacency, thinking that we were bound to keep going down the same path. So in a sense, we succeeded and didn't hedge our bets enough.
Anybody else have? George? Whoever's next, yeah.
I just want to say that based on the stats that we heard this evening, we're within striking distance on many of those boards and many of those elections. And it's going to be up to us if we will return to some degree of numbers in the state of Georgia. We've just got to, we've got to get our mindset that we're going to work like devil to get folks in Lowndes County to oppose. Because when you're looking at 5% swing and population with Hispanics is growing, population with blacks is growing, we can do what we need to do, but we've got to get people engaged so we'll be ready to go. Pretty much what J.D. was saying.
George?
I'm George Foster Rhymes, and I'm with the Get Blue Free Press, and I'm covering 16 to 18 cities. And I was frustrated with the Democratic Party, and I'm just speaking the truth. Based on all these, most of the black, I have 2 white women as well. These black people across the state of Georgia are under attack by certain people in these communities, and with the help of the newspapers, their own city attorney, certain segment of people within these communities, attacking these black elected officials who won fair and square. But they are taking them to court. They are changing types of government. And when I was in Sylvester, and this is on my YouTube channel, there was a lot of people told me, and I even emailed the Democratic Party, Du Bois Porter, as well as tried to get something to Hillary. These people said they were not going to vote in these little small communities here in the state of Georgia. Because when they needed the Democratic Party in Meigs, Lumpkin, Dawson, Warrington, Homerville, all these areas that I've been going through, Hancock County in particular, the New York Times came in and investigated the problems in Hancock County. And the police department was actually going to people's home asking them for their deeds to show if they lived, if they own that property, et cetera, et cetera. And so when these mayors and commissioners, like in Douglas as well, when they wrote the Democratic Party, I don't mean one of them, and right now they getting ready to take their case to the United Nations because of the way they was treated. But we have not heard one thing from the Democratic Party. So you had Democrats who said to me, and it hurt me, especially in Sylvester, the civil rights organization called Kemen, I think. And he stood there in Sylvester, and he told me, and I got it on camera. He said, I'm not voting for Democrats when they don't do so and so and so and so. And so I'm saying that, who said, somebody said, I think one of y'all said, Gretchen or someone, but we got to stand up for what we believe in. And we got to go out and let people know we are willing to fight and that we want to win. And above all, what I've seen and experienced is this. When a Democrat is elected to office, he won the race, and then the Democratic Party don't stand with them, we don't stand with them. Right over there in Brooks County, to put my 10 plus 2, they still asking, where's the Democratic Party? They won the case now. Over 200 violations dropped by the state of Georgia. But for the most part, they had to fight for themselves. And I don't believe that we as a party should be silent in situations such as that.
Could I just say one thing? For everything George has said, I just want to say the Georgia County Democratic Party, I believe, did support the Quit 10, and I tried to get the Democratic Party in Georgia, as did several other people. We had their chair at their time down here. We tried to get him to get the Democratic Party in Georgia to support them, but they wouldn't do it.
And let me back up a little bit, because I do have an R on my stick shift here. He is correct. He is correct, because the Democratic Party sure did. And so please, I'm going to put the truth out there. When you find me in error, please knock on my door, because I got an R on my stick shift.
Thank you, George. And to add on to what you're saying, we were disappointed with the lack of support from the state. And it's something that we need to work on. We need to put a little bit more pressure on the state. We didn't get any help during the primaries. Once Hillary was the nominee, we called, I mean, I can't tell you how many times I emailed and called trying to get some support. Send us either money or send us some people to help us, and got nothing. So we're pretty upset about that. It's almost like they gave up on us.
That's right.
Well, they do, they don't care about Florida, because they think it's so red sky.
Or they focus on Atlanta and then we get nothing. So we just got to keep letting them know that we do have a strong Democratic Party down here, and we are the anchor of the Democratic Party here in South Georgia. So we'll let them know. Yeah.
But one more thing, and I got to say this because I hit the Democratic Party real hard, but I want y'all to listen to me real close. All that talk I did, you see I'm still with the Democratic Party, right?
Well, to sort of tag on to what you were saying, one of the things that local issues are important. They're incredibly important. But right now we have somebody who's going to have say over who's in the Supreme Court. We have a Republican Congress. We have a Republican platform that talks about conversion therapy for our LGBTQ brothers and sisters, which I think is evil. I have a Chinese wife who is afraid right now because she doesn't know what's going to happen to our daughter in the future. I've got Muslim friends at the university who are afraid that they are going to be put on a list. I'm an atheist. My wife wants me to take any notification of that off my call. Your fathers, mothers, aunts, uncles, cousins fought a civil war in the 1960s. I don't think it'll come to that, but we've got to be ready to fight for our brothers and sisters who can't fight, or being held back, or not getting those same rights that we enjoy, that we love, that we treasure. So we got to be ready. The next 2 years in particular, because 2 years from now, I think we can change the makeup of Congress.
I'll say one other thing, if I may. The Democratic members in Lowndes County have got to get involved. We need a number. When I come to these meetings, look around, you got 20, 25, 30 people here, and you got thousands of people in the city and the county say they are Democrats, but they don't come together to see how they can work these situations out. Folks got to come and be involved if they're going to look for somebody to stand behind them. I can't stand behind you, but I still want to stand involved. So people got to get up and get involved in the Democratic Party. We ought to be 100 strong, 100 strong. But when we look at this, we look at our meetings, we don't see everybody that I know who claims to be Democrats. And that's one of our main problems. People just don't get involved.
I can tell you, Gretchen and Dennis and John and Jim have been doing this longer than I have, and you're preaching to the choir, right? Just getting people to show up for things, that's 90% of the battle. Showing up for meetings like this, or if we're having some other type of voter registration function, or supporting local business event, or they hire a honeybee festival, getting people just to sit at a booth. When there's only 1 or 2 people sitting at a booth, it doesn't look so good. But when you got 6, 7 people, diversity, that looks really good. So I'm glad you said that, and I'm hoping everybody in this room is going to be willing to chip in when we need those volunteers for various events. Thank you for saying that. I know you had your hand up here.
Okay, I just had a question. What is the next election coming up locally that we need to be preparing for?
Municipal elections coming up in 2017.
The qualifying for them is either at the end of August or beginning of September.
So do we have a game plan already for how we're going to handle that?
Yeah, that's where the vice chair for qualifying starts in terms of searching for candidates. Again, we need people who are interested in getting involved. I think the first step on that is, again, serving on these boards and commissions, getting yourself engaged in the community, then moving on to elective offices. So we're going to have city council, staff of the city council is going to be up in Valdosta.
You haven't said anything yet here.
I'm new, so hi everybody. I'm Kara Elliott. I'm actually a transplant from out of state, but I wanted to ask a question that I guess speaks to the participation of younger voters in the election. I wondered if I guess we as a party have access to statistics on the participation of college students, both in terms of how they voted in this past election and where they registered. Because obviously when young people do vote, they vote predominantly Democratic. I think that the college does a really good job in terms of kind of making its presence known in the community. I just wonder, like I said, I'm new, so I certainly don't want to presume that this isn't something that's already a strategy for the local party, but I guess I just wanted to introduce that into the discussion.
I can answer that question. The answer is we have access to a tool called Vote Builder, and Vote Builder will tell us who are all the registered voters and when did they vote. Won't tell us who they voted for, but when did they vote. So we can see if a voter registered and how did they vote. Did they vote early, absentee? Are they registered at home? Did they get an absentee ballot and mail it back? Did they coming to school here? Did they register here and are planning to vote in the municipal elections? So yes, we have access to that, and if you would be interested in becoming one of the data people for Vote Builder, we could get you that access, and then you could do the kind of analysis that Tom looked at to say, this is what we got in this is where we had good turnout, this is where we had bad turnout, these are people that have voted before but they haven't voted now, we need to get back to them. So yes, and we need people to work on that.
By the way, are you a student?
No, I'm a PhD student at William & Mary in Virginia, so I'm living here doing the various process of that.
Right, yeah, we have the Young Democrats of Valdosta State University, and I just took over as the advisor for that club, so I'm going to do everything I can to make sure it's an active, vibrant club. We have a presence at something called The Happening, where all the local vendors, different organizations are there, and we sign up a ton of students every year, so we do that. We've done a whole bunch of voter registration drives this season, actually, and not just, there were several different student organizations that were doing voter registration on campus. I know they used to have a polling place at the college. I'd love to see that come back. I mean, maybe that's something we can work on.
How that happened was in 2008. So many students turned out to vote for Obama that they got their own precinct. Now, that did not happen by accident. It happened by a bunch of people, including one guy who sat down there practically every day registering students. So if you'd like help with that kind of thing, here's the guy to talk to.
Does anybody else have anything they want to say?
I'm going to piggyback off her disclaimer about being new to this, but I want to go back to the topic of the Georgia Democratic Party. I think right now is a vital example of why rural is very important, and they need to be reminded of that. Because I have the same experience when Obama was running back in 2008. Nobody would listen up there. And that's why I'm here, to be honest with you, because I wasn't participating in that anymore. And I've got to do something.
Well, take solace in the fact that you're not alone, you know.
And you're in the right place.
Y'all excuse me for talking so much, but I'm going to make this brief. I'm the author of a writing called Tribute to an Unknown Soldier, and I've sent all the presidents from Jimmy Carter on up forward, and they all sent me a thank you card, and they said, well, add the writing into their library, these presidents, right? So I sent one to President Barack Obama, and I'm glad I hadn't got on video and mentioned it public that he did not respond to me. But I was thinking that he did not respond to me. But what happened is that he did respond. I just didn't open the letter. You talking about somebody feel bad? I felt really bad. I'm glad I didn't put it on video. But I just thought I'd share that with you, you know. So Obama was okay, you know.
Speaking of President Obama, one thing I'm excited about is I've heard that he's going to tackle this gerrymandering issue. That's going to be one of the key things that he's working on. That's huge because many of you are aware that the way that these districts are drawn is very shady, and it hurts Democrats across the country. So if we can get some of that straightened out, and there are some courts that are ruling against the way that these
That's right.
districts are gerrymandered, that's going to help Democrats.
That's right.
And I think it was the Florida Supreme Court just ruled that the districts were too gerrymandered, so there's these nonpartisan commissions in various states that are going to redraw the lines. That's going to help us a lot. Jim, you got something?
Dennis, you might know the answer to this. Is there any way we can break up the North Side Baptist precinct? I noticed that almost 13,000
Yeah,
people
that's
voted
the-
through there, which is almost over a third of people that voted.
Yeah, as you may know, at one point we had 37 precincts in Lowndes County. With the advent of early voting, would elections decreased the number of precincts. With half the people early voting would have justified half as many precincts, but they cut it to 1/4 the number of precincts. So we're down to 9 precincts. They then tried year before last to decrease that by 4 more precincts, including closing Mildred Hunter, which is the largest majority precinct. We made a strong representation there from the Lowndes County Democratic Party. A number of us went to that meeting and stopped that. So all of the precincts are now open. The board will probably take a look again at rebalancing the precincts.
They had the map out on the floor when I was there the day on Friday.
Yeah. So that's an active issue, and we're on top of it.
I can tell you, Lorna and I were standing outside of the Northside Baptist Church. I didn't know I could stand for 12 hours. I was saying, I can't. Yeah, my legs were sore the next day, but we stood out there, Hillary Clinton signs, vote Democrat signs, Dexter Sharper signs, so we were out there all day, and the lines were going around the building. It was just absurd. At one point, it was actually going into the street, and there were kids with their parents, everybody's in the street, and then we got them to wrap the line around the building, but it was chaos. The traffic, people yelling at each other, the parking, it was you were there, yeah, Ronnie was there, he saw it, but it was crazy. Teresa was there as well. Yeah.
Also, the experience lady around, turn the young lady off the facility, who had voted there all the time. And I happened to be just out there to take pictures. And this young girl was in her 20s. And you can tell a kid she cannot vote. But she get through one entrance door, she's good. She goes to the next apartment, and they told her she cannot vote. So what I did, I went out, and her mom was furious. I talked to Tom, we called Debbie, and then Debbie told us who to talk to. We went back inside, and they allowed this young lady to vote. But she was going to leave because she was hurt. I may happen to be there to take her by the hand and tell her what to do. That's my gripe. That's right. It's too many voting there.
That's
And
right.
a lot of those people that's in those positions are being very rude to the people that's coming to vote.
I kind of had a similar experience. I went to my truck or something while I was at Northside, holding up signs trying to win. And a young lady, she called me over there because she saw the sign on the truck, and she's like, I don't know what to do. They sent me here to vote. She says, but I've always gone to the Presbyterian church somewhere to vote. And she said, I don't understand why they sent me here. So I found out where she lived, and then I pulled up on my phone the different precincts. I said, this is where you need to be. She was about to give up, and she was a young African-American lady. I said, please, go do whatever you got to do, and then go vote over there. I said, don't stand in this line here because you're just wasting your time. Please go over there. And I think she did.
What?
Jim, good. Jim,
Yeah, and see, I was a bull watcher down in Lake Park, at the precinct down here. I was there all afternoon from 1 o'clock on till time to close at 7. And it was a steady flow of people. At worst, there were 10 people waiting in line. At the worst, waiting to vote. I got a call at 6:15 from a friend of mine who was going to vote, probably the first time to vote. And she says, it's crazy here. She said, Northside, it's crazy here. I don't, I'm outside the building and they're giving me this paper. I said, well, just bear with it. It'll probably flow quickly. Later I heard it took an hour for her to get through the line to vote. But down in Lake Park, people are basically through there in 5 to 10 minutes, but for the most part. And that's the issue, You know, it's a way of voter suppression to overload different precincts like that so that people get discouraged from voting. And then it's designed because look what happened at Northside. Who won Northside precinct? Hillary won Northside precinct over. And the same at Mildred Hunter. Hillary won that precinct. Democrats won those precincts. And it's just my feeling about it that it needs to be split up and distributed. Make it easier to vote, not harder. And this is the whole thing. Democrats are all in favor for the right to vote, making it easy to vote, and getting out to vote. Honestly, Republicans don't want that. And they have shown in state after state after state. I think you've all heard of the different stories that have come up about voter suppression and making it difficult, especially for Democrats to vote. It's all power politics, and they're playing hardball, and we got to learn how to play the same game.
That's right. Yeah.
The purpose there is we had too many polling places in our areas that we live in. All the polling places that it's one over here come was at one point it was at Gordon Street. And then they broke it up. You had one at the south side. But in our neighborhood, they said that we vote fraudulent more than anybody else. So to try to deal with the problem, we lost the site at the Christian church over here on Patterson. But what they was doing, they was eliminating where a majority of us were. And when they did that, then they sent us all in different areas. So some of the people from the place on Gordon Street where we originally went to the conference center. Then one day I went to vote at the conference center and they said, no, you're in the wrong place. And had I been right at the moment, I wouldn't have transferred from where I were over here to this place. I would just have really get home. But I went on over there like they told me. But that's one of the things that the party should be fighting for. They gave us all these, and it's a system to discourage us blacks from going to the polls or getting to a place to vote. So if we don't attack it in the city with the Democratic Party, we still gonna keep them just like the polls is, and that's why a lot of people don't go and vote. We're different, so we have to engage every individual in our neighborhood. We can't just say they're gonna read the newspaper, they're gonna watch it on TV. That don't work for us. We got to go personally and engage these people. But I didn't start with him. I've been doing this a long time. So I know how they vote in Valdosta and Lowndes County. But one of our main problems is we got too many Pence people. This time they're Republicans, the next time they're Democrats. So we got a lot of problems we got to get solved.
How many people have been discouraged from voting, like Vivian's story? How many young people were turned away one time and they just said, to heck with it, I'm not doing this anymore, because they had humiliation or whatnot? Yeah.
I think we ought to make a list of people that were registered to vote and did not vote, and then go around and contact them next year and give them absentee votes to mail in.
Is that something that can be done through a vote builder? Yeah. Again, if we can get a committee together, get a group of people that will tackle this issue, that would be great. Yeah. Jake?
That's why being on these boards is so critical, because what in my opinion, what's going on is not so much voter suppression, but disenfranchising people. And by that I mean, if there are over 20,000 people in Valdosta that are registered to vote that don't vote, and the majority of those live in areas that don't have transportation two polls. So if you disenfranchise them by eliminating polling places, if you go to, now you just got one side, you got Livingston Hunter, where in the past you had Church on Forest Street, you had, I would say on Gordon Street, you had different locations and you could walk maybe a mile and a half to vote. Now you gotta walk 3 or 4 miles to vote. They're not gonna do it. I know we offer transportation to them, but a lot of folks don't know how to get in touch with us to get transportation. So if these boards are controlled by Republicans, they're gonna disenfranchise the folks who don't want to vote, and that's gonna be mostly Democrats. Most of the people in the city are vote Democrat. So we disenfranchise them, and that way we can keep control of things where we want. So I think as a party, we have got to get active with this election board, because right now, when I ran for mayor, I was very disheartened to the fact that there was no weekend voting, and there was no extended hours voting except for 1 week. And my complaint to them was, your voting is from 7 to 7, Monday through Friday, and if you have a mother who has to be to work at 8, she's not going to vote before she goes to work. And when she gets home at 5, she's got to make a decision: do I stay home and cook dinner for my kids, or do I go vote for G.B.R. Rice? So I'm not going to go vote after I get off work. I got to fix dinner. But if you have weekend voting, you can vote on it. That hurts us a lot when on a local election. I don't know why it's that way, but that needs to be looked into.
I have several things to say on that account. In 2008, almost everybody could walk to their precinct, including me. My precinct was 3 miles from my house, but in a pinch I could have walked there. Now my precinct is more than 7 miles from my house. So the consolidation definitely is a disenfranchisement. The reason why they say, the Board of Elections keeps saying, well, we can't have all of these 38 precincts, is because it's too expensive. And the reason they say it's too expensive is because the county commission won't fund them. If you follow the money along, why is it that they're doing this? Because the county commission won't give them money to run the elections the way that they should be run. So when they put their budget in and they say, we want to have 15 precincts, and the commission says, no, we're not giving you money for that much, we'll give you, 75% of that, they have to try to work within their budget. If you want to make a difference about how many voting precincts there are, it's a 2-step thing. It's to go to the Board of Elections en masse when they're going to do this voter, change them around. The map was on the floor this week, and say, not that. There's 3 people who will vote to make that decision. Go to that meeting and say, no, not that. And the other thing is, go to the county commission when they're having their budget hearings in February and talk to your commissioner and say, give more money so that people can get to voting precincts. Allocate the money. You represent us. You don't make that decision all on your own. You're our representative. Off my soapbox.
Yeah, let me say a little bit about extended hours on voting. This time around, the plan was to have 7 to 7 voting, except the last week they were going to do 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. I was at that meeting and persuaded them to do 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. all 3 weeks of early voting. So going to these meetings makes a difference. You can have an impact. We can get extended voting hours. There's voting this time on both Saturday and Sunday.
We got the Sunday by writing them a letter and going and presenting it at one of their meetings and said, could we have Sunday voting? And they voted and said yes.
Yeah, not every county has Sunday voting. It's only about 10 or 11 out of the 159. Lowndes County has Sunday voting because we spoke up for it. And so you can have an impact. You can make a difference showing up on these boards and commissions.
In District 1, sir, even though we had extended hours and et cetera, our black people do not have transportation.
Yeah, and that's what...
I don't care how much you extend it. If a 70-year-old woman got to walk, she's not going. And this is what I asked the county commissioners. Why can't you bring the election office back downtown? You put it out there, but a minority cannot get to it. Let's just call a duck a duck.
Right.
It's out there where our people cannot get to it. If you bring it back downtown, the same way they took the bank away from our people.
Right, yeah.
And actually, because there's a lot of senior citizens there that don't have transportation. And a lot of them not no shuttle. It runs, but they don't, you know, by the time they get to it, it's gone. So if we move that building back downtown, there are senior citizens that live in District 1 and 2 that can walk in the early vote. In just my area, there's an 80-year-old lady who will not register to vote because she said we don't ever do anything as a Democratic Party. And I've been the biggest lady to vote, to register since I've been in this year. I'm not giving up on her. Just like, I start to say, Mr. Rice said, and et cetera.
Yeah.
We got to get out and beat the bushes to get our people to register to vote.
On that note, really quickly, I looked up the numbers today. So in Lowndes County, there were 53,900 people that were registered. Out of that, 38,200 voted. So 71% of the people in Lowndes County that were registered voted. But the problem, like you're saying, only 53,000 out of, anybody have an idea about how many people, how many
are
adults?
eligible to
Yeah.
vote? I think it's like 64 could potentially be eligible voters, but lots of people don't want them.
Yeah. So we can increase the number of people, like you're saying, that are just registered. Yeah, I think you would.
I don't think we can check out absentee ballots for other people, but we might be able to prepare a letter for them to request an absentee ballot and then deliver that letter and keep delivering the letter until they get their absentee ballot.
Yeah, it's an application for absentee ballot. We can distribute the applications for absentee ballots that they can send.
Yeah.
Let me say one other thing on a totally different note. We did have a number of good Lowndes County Democrats who passed away this year. I think we should take a moment to remember them. In particular, Mario Bartoletti, who served as a poll watcher for us and witness for opening absentee ballots. And also let me let you know that Elliot Bergman is SGMC and definitely ill. So he was a very good fundraiser for the county party, and I'm sure there were others that you remember. So we could just take a moment of silence for Lowndes County Democrats who passed this year.
Yeah, so a moment of silence for Lowndes County Democrats who passed away this past year. Thank you. Did you have something to
Yeah, I just want to add this. Like I said, I'm covering a lot of territory. I'm gaining a lot of information, and that's one reason I'm talking. All your complaints, especially with the polling and the voting, call, do your complaint form, fill it out online, send it to the Secretary of State's office for all the good it'll do. At least there'll be a record of it. Also, what I've learned, I have probably 3 years ago, as an offshoot from the problems with equipment 10+2, I went to Macon because the Secretary of State had that meeting once or twice a year. Once in Macon, I think the other was in Savannah. But the bottom line, you have those complaints, they give you time before that meeting starts, where they do all these investigations and stuff like that. Be there, stand up, give a voice. Ever since I found out about it, I'll be there. And I have some of these communities take people with me that stand up and tell the Secretary of State what's going on for all the good that it does. We had one guy out of Clayton County stood up and blasted the Secretary of State by asking him a question. Do you think, Mr. Secretary, that your Board of Elections look like the state of Georgia? Because I don't see a black up there nowhere. I don't even think y'all wearing black shoes. And when he said that, I'm telling you, and I got that on my video. You can say it on some of my videos, a video. So let us let's not just talk about what happened at the polling, but let us file that complaint and then let's be up there and make them when they have that access to it.
The other thing is, too, every time your elected officials are available to you, now that's your city council, you get to see them twice a month, go to those city council meetings. The county commission, twice a month, go there. Talk to those representatives. They're supposed to be representing you. This week at the Rainwater Conference Center, the state delegation is having their little luncheon thing where you can... Wednesday,
I'll be there.
And so this is your chance to show up and say, this is what we look like, here's our faces, ask them questions, hold them accountable, get their phone numbers on your speed dial. I got David Perdue and Johnny Isaacson on my speed dial now, calling their local offices. When you call their local office and talk to their staffer there and say, I'm so-and-so from Lowndes County, and I want Senator Isaacson to please oppose, fill in the blank, they write those down. And a call is better than a letter. A letter they may or may not read. A call, a human answers.
Thank you. And you just reminded me of something else, Gretchen. I believe the public shuttle, the pilot shuttle program here in Valdosta, is it still ending December? What date is that? So if you haven't, please ride the shuttle. Basically, we got to get the numbers up. Because if they see a lot of people are using that shuttle, then we might actually get permanent public transportation. It's just, JD has talked a lot about this. It's a shock that we don't have reliable, consistent public transportation. So you can go on the Georgia Regional Planning Commission website, and it shows you where the stops are around town. Just get on it, they write your name down, gets the numbers up, and it increases our chances.
Well, the chairman already came out public and said we don't need it because the folks want to get a job, they gotta find a way to work.
Ridiculous.
Put it in the papers on that.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, Doris just got an email that she's been removed from the newsletter list. And since she comes and we sign in and we pay our dues, even though we haven't gotten our receipt yet, I'm wondering how the decision is made to remove people from the newsletter.
Oh, our monthly email?
Yeah, monthly email.
I honestly, we don't remove.
You don't remove people. People remove themselves.
You want to see it?
Well,
Want me
no.
to call it up?
But we don't actively remove.
You want to see it? It happened.
I don't say that it didn't happen, that she wasn't removed, but and there's
She was
a
removed. What are we going to do about it?
We're going to
just
put her back
subscribe
on the
again.
list.
Thank you.
Yes.
But here's the thing: if you forward a mail to somebody, they can unsubscribe you. So you have to be careful.
We're on the list. We pay the dues.
It was 603.
Okay, we'll get you back on.
We don't like removing anybody. When you're on our list, you're there for life. Right? We don't want to remove anybody. We're trying to get as many people on our list as possible. We got, comment.
About the public transportation, I mean, I can remember 10 years ago people talking about this public transportation. What are we doing with public outreach to get the word out regarding public transportation?
Well, I think on a variety of fronts. I know the Lowndes County Democratic Party, we've been strong proponents. We actually had a meeting maybe a year ago, and it was probably our busiest meeting we've had in a long, long time. People showed up. We got some local politicians to show up, and we showed them that we really care about this. And we know, not everybody, like Vivian was saying, not everybody has reliable public transportation. It's something we absolutely need. So we keep putting pressure on them. JD has made that one of his platform planks when he ran for mayor. He talked about it a lot. So this issue's out there, and a lot of people care about it. We just got to keep the pressure on it.
So, Tom, why not have a ride the bus party then?
JD.
Good idea.
Absolutely, yeah. So
Well,
we have a day where we all ride the
my
shuttle.
office, when I was running for city, my position, I went out, I rode the bus, the shuttle. I got people that come out there with me, Mr. Tom and different ones, and the kids at the college, they jumped on board with me. You gotta get out there and get somebody to ride with you, because it's numbered. If all of you, everybody that's in here, go out there and ride today, take 10 people with you, that's 10 people that's on there. I rode the north side and the south side. I rode it. Every time I went, I went out and got people to come and ride the bus with me. I took my car down to Hudson Docket and took people and got kids in the community. Let's ride. We can't sit here and talk about what we're going to do. You don't need everybody. You just get that one person. You get 10 people with you, that's 10 more. She get 10, he get 10. All those on that shuttle, that's how we're losing it, because we will not get out and fight for it.
On that note, real quick on that note, we actually made a video with Vivian and several other leaders, even the mayor, John Gale, a whole bunch of people saying that we absolutely need this Dexter Sharper. We got local business people, Myrna Ballard, President Chamber of Commerce, said yes, we need it. So we've got that video that a lot of people watched
We got
that.
extended to Discord.
And actually, they took that video to the Georgia Regional Planning Commission and played it for them, like the head honchos that are making the big decisions. So, but maybe it's another issue that we bring back up again.
So to clarify what I'm suggesting, it's like we've had cash mobs where we've gone to a particular store, had people show up. What I'm suggesting is have a ride the bus day and, perhaps at particular times of day on particular routes, and invite the news media, see if we can get some coverage. This is in addition to everything you're talking about.
Good idea. Yeah, I'm sorry, you had your hand up.
I'm new here, I'm Victoria. I guess one of my questions is I have a lot of friends that work at ED, and they do take the shuttle bus, but some of them complain it takes over an hour to get to work and they're late. If there's a higher turnout of people using the shuttle buses, is there a possibility to get more out there so the routes can be maybe smaller so people can get to places quicker than an hour?
It's my understanding, that's the point, is that they're all about the numbers. If we can show that the numbers are there, and they have been pretty good about modifying the routes, right?
Yeah, we changed the route because it was extended out too far. They brought it in because they was going to New Beginnings. By the time they went there, the kids were already at work. So they revamped it to try to get more students. They even went out to they went out to Wiregrass. I rode the shuttle out to Wiregrass. We didn't pick up a child, or we didn't take a child because of the hours that the shuttle ran through there. We got the senior citizen where it's over here on the north side of town. It's about 25 senior citizens. They love it. They rode it every day. Because they wanted to go more than Walmart. They wanted to take them to the mall. They wanted to get their nails done. They wanted to get their hair done. They were excited about it. So if you take it from them, how they gonna get around? That's what we were about, the senior citizens. We had people in Orly and Hudson Docket that was working at Walmart. This girl was so thankful. She said she had to wait to work, but she didn't have to wait back home because the shuttle was over by the time she got from work. She was fine with that. She could catch a ride home. She wanted to get to work.
As J.D. Rice said, if Hinesville can have a bus system, Valdosta can have a bus system.
Yes.
Do you have any other final comments? Yeah, one more? Yeah.
We should say thank you to our outgoing officers.
It's been a pleasure, and I want to thank everybody for coming out to the meeting. Hopefully, we'll see you next month. It's always the first Monday of the month. We've had it always.
Are we meeting? That would be January the 2nd, or did we say we were going to meet on January the 9th?
Good question.
JD.
I'm going to Tampa to watch the Bucks against play the Carolina Panthers on New Year's Day, so I won't be here on the Saturday.
Yeah, we usually move the January meetings.
I've already got my team.
Okay, so it'll be January 9th. We'll have our meeting.
The Bucks in first place, so I'm going to be in Tampa.
I think JD, you said you probably are going to have a meeting here. So it'll be here January 9th, JD? Okay, so please bring friends, bring people.
Yeah, the doctor's law class after
Yes.
See you next month. Thank you.